What up, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, and all points. Reek. Yo, Game of Thrones is just off the chain. But Ramsay, Ramsay is turning out to be a guilty pleasure to watch because they really let this character just go. And the guy playing, I don't even know who plays him, but he plays him well. And I'm starting to enjoy Ramsay a whole lot more. And he's crazy with everybody. Even Roose Bolton, his own father, was like, he's a different dude. Although Roose Bolton is a killer. I mean, anybody they're all killers. Anybody who's in the Game of Thrones got to be able to kill somebody. But the Dreadfort, henceforth Dreadfort, their sigil, the flayed man of that's the flayed man of Harrenhal. But nonetheless, they flay men, so that's what they do. But nonetheless, I like the way they're hyping Ramsay Snow up to be like, he's not a the key player, but he's fun to watch. You know what I mean? Because he's just brutal. He just doesn't care. And look at him, he's crazy as heck. Is when he lets the dogs go. But poor Theon. I feel bad for Theon for a couple reasons. I feel bad for his character. Because he was a semi-powerful character next to the Starks. But now they got him playing a village idiot. And truthfully, I'm hoping, look at the way they just, he's a slave, that's what they do. But what I'm hoping is not exactly that he gets revenge on, the Boltons or the Snows. I'm hoping that I'm hoping that they just bring his character back alive, and when they do, I hope they make him a main character who just destroys anything in his way. I don't want him to just go after, Harrenhal or the people who did this to him. I want him to go after anybody. And I think that's what they're hyping him up to be, because he's like, I got a present for you. And he gives him a bath and he says, I want you to be somebody because I want you to go somewhere. And he's like, who do you want me to be? He's like, I want you to be Theon Greyjoy. This lets you know that the North is going after the Iron Islands. They're going to, and I think they're going to go after more Caitlyn. And I think that's because their armies will be, if they don't have more Caitlyn, they can't get their armies past the neck. Now, we all know from Game of Thrones lore that the neck is where the children of the forest flooded. They flooded the neck in order to keep the first men away from them, but it didn't work. So what they created was the bog. And then here you have the reeds, the bog devils, the crannock men. That's where they came from. The bog devils came from the bog. And what I'm really hoping that they do when they go into Mort Caitlin, I'm hoping that they go down there and we finally get to see some lizard lions. These are alligator-like creatures, or almost Naga from World of Warcraft looking creatures that can actually stand up on two, and they're huge and they're poisonous. And I hope they bring that world alive, because I really want to see that. We haven't seen any of the bog yet, but we've heard about it from the reeds. And we know that Jojen Reed and Mira, they're I forgot what his name is, but he is Lord of that land. So I'm hoping we get to see that, and this is really turning out to be a lot more fun than it was, because all it was the North just getting killed. Now it's turning out to be a strategy of war, and it breaks you away from the boring politics of King's Landing. King's Landing, yeah, people get killed, but it's so much just talk. In the North, it's not so much talk, it's action. People take action. You know, and Theon Greyjoy's sister was like, I'm going to march on the Dreadfort. I'm going to take 500 men that are killers, and we're going after my brother. You know, we all know that a lot of those men did not return. One thing I don't like about this scene is we don't know any of the other men. We just know her and Theon. So Game of Thrones lore will have to bring us abreast on who she took with her. That way we know who died and who didn't. Even if they're minor lords, they're still lords, you know. So they're still important because they still have houses. So that's what I'm kind of. I'm hoping they delve deeper into that, even though they can't go too deep because, you know, I guess I have to read the book to know everything. But I'm really excited about the North because of the stratagem that they're using to tell the story. And I use a lot of strategy in my story. My story is The Sorrowed King. So you guys check it out. It's on Lulu.com. You'll really like it. It's only 60 pages. The grammar's not the best, but the story is great. So there it is. It's your boy Tone 202. And peace.